The topic for today is custard, more specifically my mother's recipe. We make it both in a full batch and a half batch, and it's going to make a little over a quart, and we serve it up in smaller bowls. Should be able to serve 6, 8 bowls depending on the size. Here's the recipe itself, the original recipe, and the difference between my mother's version and Kathy's version is my mother uses a cup and a half of sugar. Kathy likes it a little lower on the sugar and only uses a cup, actually usually a little less than a cup. So the other ingredients you can see either in the recipe or here in the picture. It's going to be 1/3 of a cup of cornstarch, a cup of sugar, 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 cups of milk, 4 eggs, and some vanilla extract. And of course, if you're going to make the half batch, just divide everything by 2. Step 1 is to bring the milk up to a simmer. So you put that into a smaller pot, put it on a medium flame, add the 4 tablespoons of butter to it, and let that sit and let the butter melt. When the butter is fully melted and mixed in, that will be ready then to use in the rest to make the custard. Again, that's going to be on a medium flame. In a separate bowl, slightly larger bowl, take the cornstarch and sugar and dump it in. Once you've got it in there, start mixing it and mix it thoroughly. And the reason that's important is because you don't want to have clumps of cornstarch, and that tends to happen most frequently in the corners of the pan. So mix it up thoroughly, get it good and mixed together. Next, we're going to take the 4 eggs. We're going to crack them open, put them in a small bowl, dump the bowl into the cornstarch and sugar, and again, mix that thoroughly. Really get it mixed in because you don't want the bomblets of cornstarch, so you want that thoroughly mixed. Once you get it a nice consistency, you can let that sit, and that will sort of stiffen up a little bit. Once the milk with the butter in it has thoroughly mixed together, in other words, the butter is melted and it's mixed in with the milk on the medium flame, pour it in slowly into the eggs and the sugar and cornstarch. And while you're doing that, make sure that you're mixing, mix, because you don't want to have, scrambled eggs being formed. So at this point, put that on a medium flame and stir the entire time. That's important because you don't want it to clump up. So don't stop stirring the entire time. And this is going to take, I don't know, it depends. You have to just see how it works for you, but maybe 10, 15 minutes perhaps. And just keep stirring the entire time on a medium flame. And as you do that, the mixture in there, the custard now, is going to start firming up. And you want it to be a consistency where it's sort of viscous and it doesn't just flow out, like a liquid, but more like pudding. And so once it starts thickening up, then you keep stirring the entire time that this is happening. And by the way, you'll see it'll start bubbling because you want enough heat in there that it's starting to not boil, but bubble. Once you've got the consistency that you like, then we're going to add the vanilla extract to it. We're looking to add anywhere from 1 to 2 teaspoons. And once you dump that in, mix it up thoroughly and let it set for a little bit. Then you can dump that into, we use a 1.5 quart bowl. You want a little bit more than a quart. And just pour it in there. Once it's poured in, what you want to do is you want to have a lid for this, and you want some paper towel. Now, the reason for the paper towel is you're going to take the paper towel and you're going to lay it over the top of the bowl and then put the lid on. That's going to absorb the excess moisture as it evaporates, and that helps prevent a thicker layer on the top of the custard forming. Once you've got the paper towel and the lid on, I put it on the kitchen table that we have that's granite to help it cool off. And once that's cooled down a little bit, then it goes in the fridge. Now, the entire time we leave the paper towel in there. If we're serving just a couple of bowls, we'll take the lid and paper towel off and then put the lid and paper towel back on. Once it's cooled down and ready for serving, you can see from the picture here with the spoon that it's set. It's more like a pudding / custard consistency. It's not liquid. And then we just dump that into bowls, and you can see here it's got some consistency to it, and we serve it. Our favorite way to serve it is to add either blueberries or strawberries to add a little bit of flavor, and we serve it cold. So very good. Enjoy.